Hey, what's up guys? So for this video, I'm going to be speaking about creating a measurement plan, your blueprint for marketing success, web analytics measurement plan. Analytics not only has the power to correct your eyesight, it can give you X-ray vision like Superman. So from our experience in marketing and analytics, across a wide variety of industries, we've seen how surprisingly a large number of businesses operate in the dark when it comes to website analytics. But the resources invested to accomplish these initiatives and measures their effectiveness were largely unaccountable and included mere estimations at best. So what this is saying is that most businesses do not use analytics and are in the dark and are just merely estimating along the way. So I broke it down to 6 steps: business objectives, your goals, your strategies, your KPIs, which are your key performance indicators, your targets or benchmarks, your reports, and you want to analyze after you have the data right from your report and your segments so you can adjust and improve. So analytics is often overlooked by marketers but that's actually a critical mistake. Why? Great data analysis improves your SEO, content, paid traffic, emails, conversions, and every other aspect of web marketing as well. So great data analysis can tell you whether if your other efforts are actually working or not. Your data doesn't lie. By knowing what to collect and how to collect it, you have the firepower to make well-informed decisions. Notice what I emphasized in the previous sentence: knowing what to collect and how to collect it. In order to make precise decisions, you need to clearly define what you want out of your data. The best way to do so is with an analytics measurement plan. So you will see here on this diagram. Number 1, create measurement plan. Number 2, gather requirements, implement tags, roll out efforts, report, analyze, adjust, and improve. So what do you need for a measurement plan? You need to define your company's objectives, plan those objectives, and qualify them next to your goals so you can actually turn those into metrics, and those metrics become KPIs, key performance indicators. So you have to define what success looks like in order to get the nod, like the yes nod from top executives. Provides direction and way ahead for your marketing strategy, lays down the great work for proper JavaScript and HTML tagging on your website for tracking data, plans how you will sort through the data, what do you need and why, assists and optimization and improvements. A measurement plan is the step 1 in your overall analytics process. Without a proper measurement plan, everything else fails. So KPI, know what your report should look like, know what your objectives are, what your goals are, so we can turn those into metrics, which in turn turn into KPIs, to lay down the proper tags with JavaScript and HTML on your website, and we go from there. Okay, so for this image, you will see how it always begins with the business objectives at the top, and it goes down to the campaign goals, which in turn eventually become KPIs. These KPIs will become specific segmented targets, and from these segmented targets you get reports, right? And from the reports of the data, you can segment that data even further. So you'll see here as an example, successful outreach of audience. So you'll see how the platforms that were used to reach out: Facebook display advertisement, email campaign, text message, Twitter, search ads, So these are the platforms that were used. This was information collected via the funnel process. So they reached out. This is the next step in the funnel. This is where they actually have data collected, and they start quantifying based on the data they have available to segment on specific metrics. So step 1, document business objectives. So just in case if I lost you, I want to go back to the 6 steps. So document business objectives is step 1. A document that clearly defines the core objectives of your businesses and supports them with the metrics necessary to communicate how aligned those objectives are with reality. Whether your website is an e-commerce store, a blog, or a marketing website, it was created for a specific purpose. Take a step back and adopt the frame mind of when you were on the planning phase. Establish clear purposes which dictate all marketing, branding, content creation efforts. So your purpose or your objectives are what dictate marketing, branding, and content creation efforts. Your purpose and your objectives. Every dollar that your business spent should drive towards achieving these goals. So here is an example. A basic and incomplete approach for the 3 types of websites just mentioned might look like this. So here is an example, an e-commerce store that sells golf equipment. And I'm going to continue using that example later down. So some other examples here: blog to acquire email opt-ins from readers. A marketing website might want to drive traffic and convert visitors into leads. So they're collecting leads. So while not incorrect, this fails to adequately represent the key components of success. Yes, the website should sell equipment, gain a following, and generate ad revenue. But what other aspects are inherently critical for success? A more accurate approach might look like this. So a more accurate approach for the e-commerce, you're selling golf equipment, right? As we had defined previously. So that was a very general objective of what we want to accomplish. Now, if we wanted to kind of expand upon that, sell golf equipment, become a nationally recognized brand, generate pre-owned trade-ins. So you'll see how for the blog example, acquire emails from readers. So acquire emails from readers, establish voice of authority across social media, generate affiliate revenue, serve as a source for a specific audience. For the marketing website, drive traffic and conversions. But if we look here, drive traffic, engage prospects, and generate leads. So that's kind of how you expand on your potential objectives. So let me go back. So sell golf equipment. So the basis of a good measurement plan might include the following objectives. So you can see increase sales, establish brand familiarity, awareness, gain market share of pre-owned equipment, acquire new customers, build customer loyalty. So those could be potential objectives. Now, after you have the objectives, you want to create goals or strategies. So goals are what drive success of a given business objective. It completes the following sentence. So as an example, in order to increase our online sales, we must, and this is where you think of the goal, we must have something that is actionable, measurable, and understandable. When structuring my goals, I always lead with a verb. This implies for our sample site, which is the e-commerce site. That's what the sample site is referring to. So for that e-commerce site example, this is how I complete the sentence. In order to increase our online sales, we must reach new customers, increase repeat purchases, grow our email list. So those would be 3 potential objectives that we could potentially acquire from that website. So after these KPIs have been established, they should be approved by key stakeholders. If you are presenting these potential metrics that you believe are important for any specific brand, they should be presented to the right person to get the approval, right? To make sure that they align with the vision and expectations of the brand. Now that the business objectives have been defined, they need to be represented by specific strategies and tactics employed to achieve these objectives. In other words, how are you going to accomplish A, B, and C? To illustrate our golf retail site, we might associate the following KPIs for each objective. So let's look at these KPIs for each objective. So these are the objectives over here: increase sales, establish brand, gain market share of pre-owned equipment, acquire new customers, build customer loyalty. So you will see how those objectives were turned into KPIs. So for increased sales, the KPI focus could be increase revenue, reduce cart abandonment, increase cart totals. So, and just so you know, cart abandonment, that's referring to checkout cart. So it's a page. So they're saying reduce the people that are leaving whenever they have added an item to cart. So you're reducing cart abandonment. Increase cart sales, so that's the opposite. So you're increasing that. A lot of the times that's based off design for the most part, or the content within the website. Increase upsells and cross sells, improve cart effectiveness. So you can see, I'm going to remove this so you can actually read through this. You can pause the video and read through it if you want. Build customer loyalty, reduce customer dissatisfaction, increase repeat customers, improve reputation. So that's how the objective became a KPI. So I actually want to refer back to an image. This one right here, how it goes from objectives to goals to KPIs. So let me go back. Okay, here we go. So we are number 3. What matters is picking up KPIs that matter to your business. KPIs are the heartbeat of your website. Choose the ones that will easily help you measure the success of your goals. So deep metrics will help you gauge the success of your goals. For our sample site, the golf e-commerce website, I chose the following metrics, the following KPIs for our goals. So the goal that we had set out for this particular example was grow our email list. So some of the KPIs that were gauged from that goal: form abandonment rate, cost per lead, welcome email bounce rate. So you'll see we would assess that particular metric, that particular KPI. So we are associating the goal to a metric. So it goes from objective to goal to metric. So these are just mere examples to get the point across. So objectives and goals are believed to be generally understood or obvious, right? Whenever you're trying to increase your brand, it's assumed that the whole reason why you might be investing, for example, on paid ads is that it's going to somehow improve your brand, right? But it's not being measured at the same time. So therefore, a measurement plan is never created. Without one, not only is it unclear what strategies will be used or how they are connected to the key objectives, but nothing is ever put in a place to track the performance of the efforts surrounding these strategies. So you have a clear understanding of your business primary strategies and the key performance indicators that will inform how aligned they are. Now it's time to define what key metrics are and how they will be measured. This is also to incorporate any new targets you have. So for an e-commerce site, the overachieving goals are going to be tied up to sales, right? So setting up Google Analytics with e-commerce capabilities is probably the best idea to go, because Google Analytics is set up in a way where depending upon the type of website that you have to set it in a specific way, so you can track specific measures or specific metrics that are important with that specific platform. So as an example here, they say top line revenue, as well as key performance indicators like average order value, category performance, conversion rates, exit funnels, and more. So those are some examples of metrics that you could potentially get via Google Analytics for e-commerce. So going back to our golf equipment website, our measurement plan would develop into something like this. So these are the goals, right? So we went from objective to goals. So this is one goal from the objectives. So we increase revenue, and these are the KPIs, of course. KPI, goal to KPI, increase revenue, reduce cart abandonment, increase cart totals, increase upsells and cross sells, improve cart effectiveness. So from the KPIs, you have actual measurements, which will be on the report itself. So you can see for increased revenue, the measurement that you would be looking for are the sales. Well, not the measurement, the metric. Transactions, reduce cart abandonment. So you'll be looking at those numbers. So you're going to be judging based off the numbers. So for the goals we've identified, not only are they necessarily to a purchase, we can measure it through many sources of data sources. So these are essentially ways of how you can measure specific KPIs based off your goals. So here is another goal. So establish brand familiarity and awareness. So the KPI could be increase searches for brand name, improve social presence, increase referrals, increase sales from affiliate marketing. The measurement could be branded traffic, social following, backlink profile, affiliate marketing revenue. So those are specific metrics that you will be looking at. On a final note, with respect to the measurement aspect of your plan, this is the phase where you'll want to include any targets you have defined for your KPIs. You may find that some of the KPIs you don't have specific targets for that year or month, but for those areas where you do, there's no better place to consider them in your measurement plan. Yes, your targets could and should be dynamic in that they could fluctuate from the time of the year promotional activity, which is all more reason to report them within a reasonable construct. Your plan will be updated to account for changes to historical data and current targets, but the structural pieces will remain static. What this is basically saying is that as you are building data, everything will be set up, but it will give you the dynamic ability to work with your data. So you go from the objective to the goal to the KPI to specific targets, and the targets are measurements based off industry standard metrics. So you see industry standard metrics. So as an example here, for industry standard metrics for a form abandonment page, it's about 10%. Cost per lead, but we don't have a specific word that we're bidding for. I'm just providing an example. $5. Welcome bounce rate is less than 5%. That's for email bounce rate. So people opening your email less than 5%, which is pretty low. So the objective is you make a sale online. The goal is that you want to build an email list. The KPI associated with this goal is that you want to maintain an eye on your abandonment rate on that form. You want to keep an eye on the cost per lead. You want to see the bounce rate of email bounce rates, and you're going to look at the actual numbers, right, of the metrics based off industry standards depending upon what form or what it is that you're tracking. So it will give you perspective if you associate it to a numeric value that will force you to measure the success of your goals. Step 4, set target or benchmarks. All right, so as you have objectives, you want to associate those objectives to particular audiences or segments. As with any type of business or website analysis, segmenting your data is a critical component of gaining insights and turning that knowledge into actionable comprehension. Recommend reporting to the aggregate and segmented level. This establishes a baseline or average at the aggregate level, which provides context for the segmented perspective. When defining your segments, think of each as an additional component that empowers the data you've collected so far. So for example, it's extremely important to understand that Q1 sales are up 20% following reduction in cart abandonment. So this is saying is that your numbers might have told you that you needed to improve upon the design of your cart abandonment, your cart page. So after you fix that during Q1, the first 3 months of the year, there was a 20% increase in reducing cart abandonments thanks to shopping cart redesign. So we are able to apply segmentation by device and see that 80% of that lift came from smartphones. So this is saying is that after you redesign, you saw less cart abandonment on smartphones. We've moved beyond reporting on key data points and can now attribute and predict and plan on a much more accurate and sophisticated level. So you will see how it mentions aggregate data. So the aggregate metrics could be sessions, whenever somebody visits your website, how long they stay on it, users, page views, page sessions, or unique property IDs. So that could be, that's kind of what it means by aggregate. It's based off these metrics. So, and I'm referring to this right here, recommending your reporting at the aggregate segmented level. So they're saying based off specific behavior like user, session, so on and so on. Step 5, determine reporting in segments. Segments are the most effective when developed as part of the KPI identification phase of your measurement plan. For the KPIs related to our customer loyalty objective, we might choose the following segments. So customer loyalty objective. So the KPIs that we selected here: reduce customer dissatisfaction, increase repeat customers, improve reputation. So the segment: acquisition source, geographic location. With this level of detail, our KPIs for reducing customer dissatisfaction, increasing repeat customers, and improving reputation, we'll be able to take our data one step further when we slice into that information from the acquisition source and geographic location, being able to tie brand ambassadors to the source. When we initially gain that from that customer, it might reveal untapped opportunities for partnership. Positive reviews from customers within a 20-mile radius of our brick and mortar locations might justify bid adjustments based on location from AdWords campaign. So it's saying that sometimes we could get little tidbits of information like that we would have never known. So spending hours digging through reports is not a wise use of your time. That's why I include reporting and segmentation in my plans. It saves time, headaches, and it lets you focus on making the right analysis. Segmentation is a science in itself. For the purpose of this, I will keep it short. Defined segments are things that help you uncover additional insights and causation. Cost per lead is a great KPI. Cost per lead segmented by traffic source is even better. So you can see how that's even more segmented. Source, traffic. For our sample site, I chose the following segments for my KPIs: traffic, source, and ad group. So you will see once again the business objectives, the goal, KPIs, the target, and now the segments. So the segment conversion report, segment by traffic source or ad group. So you want to analyze, adjust, and improve. Don't forget this part. The whole point of analytics is to make data-driven decisions that will propel your business forward. Now go on and analyze. Include any details related to tracking implementation. A solid measurement plan can be built for 99% of websites using Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager as well to help you tag based off your objectives. The former gives you an enormous amount of highly intelligent data and data insights with a simple script include. The latter fills in any gaps that allow you for customized tracking solutions just for about any action or event to help you track, or one that could possibly be taking or event one could possibly take when visiting a website. One thing that will be useful is to break down the implementation into specific details for the IT team or whoever is involved in setting up the required tracking framework. So that means know your goals. Know your objectives, know your goals, know your KPIs, and then let the IT team know so they can implement the right tags on your website based off that information. This will be especially useful for measurements where implementation is more complex. So here is just an example of how you would be tracking this specific KPI for an e-commerce website. So you can see it says create workflow for inclusion of UTM parameters for affiliate creative. So that's referring to the Google Tag Manager. And you can see the goal here is to increase sales from affiliate marketing. So this is the code that you would need to implement on your website, on an e-commerce website. So the final product. With the addition of implementation details, you're finally done with your measurement plan. This diagram shows how the plan ended up looking for our golf equipment website. Yours may look different, where the objectives of the columns and details in the rows, or each objective is a tier in a smart art diagram. As long as there are KPIs, measurements, and segments for each objective, you're ready to fully benefit from your website analytics. So you will see how things are broken down even further, from the objective to the KPI to the measurement to the segment to the target. So increased sales, you'll see increased revenue, measurement, sales, car abandonment, decrease. Look at the average order value for the segment. You can see the target is to increase sales 20%. So that's how you associate to specific numbers. On here, you're going to see how the objective, the goal, the segment, and the target. Sorry, I forgot the word there for a second. So the objective, the goal, the segment, and the target. Acquire new customers, increase traffic. Look at your sessions. So look at how many people are leaving your website as an example. Look at the source of the traffic and then determine how much you want to increase that source of traffic by how much. So maintaining your plan. While the bulk of the work is done at this point, you're not fully finished just yet. In fact, maintaining your measurement plan is to a degree a never-ending task due to the following 2 reasons. So number 1, your measurement plan has helped solidify your business strategies and the methods behind measuring their efficacy. In other words, for it to hold you accountable, you have to keep the supporting data current. The frequency and method of collecting the data will vary depending upon businesses. Neither matters as long as the methods of collecting data is as accurate and as frequent as adequate to alert your teams of trends, patterns, anomalies, and the potential to impact the success or failure of achieving your goal and the specific targets for each. The second part of maintaining your measurement plan involves the plan itself. Businesses needs and technical environments change over time, and your plan needs to adapt to these alterations over time. So look at your data, live on the data. The data will tell you what to do, and you have to let your data be the one who says whether if things are proven to be working or not. It's just that simple. All right, so my name is Jeffrey. I hope this video helped. Thank you so much. Take care.